Hello guys, in this episode of Design Highlight, we'll take a look at Pavl from Toronto, Canada. Pavl has some nice stuff here. We'll take a look at the earlier works, the drawings, then we'll get to some of the more 3D stuff. And some of the stuff I really like here is the newest stuff. So a lot of times, just like with Sabrina Garcia, there's just like a massive, leap in quality, or maybe not quality, but things that I like. So for example, I'm really pleased by these three latest works. So let's go ahead and take a look. First, we've got this nice plasma SMG. Reminding me a little bit of maybe the Needler or the Alien Covenant plasma rifle from Halo, with just its shape. But it's just a nice combination of different shapes here. We've got maybe some more blocky shapes in the back, and then we've got some more kind of creative round shapes here. So I also just like this little, ammunition unit. And, when you're experimenting with designs, it's a good idea just to come up with new silhouettes, new shapes. So here it's almost like this, you expect, almost all weapons, they just kind of continue straight here. But this weapon just kind of cuts right off, just goes down here, which is, very unusual to see in a weapon. So definitely makes this one stand out more. Next, we have these nice little space shapes. If you kind of hit a design block, you're not quite sure what to do, just checking out these various sketches from various artists is a good way to boost your creativity. I very much like this concept right here, where like these mini ships kind of fit into here. Something I haven't seen too much in a sci-fi design, where it's almost like little ships fitting into here, almost like lifeboats. But there's various things you can do with that concept. Next, we have this antimatter cannon. This looks like something that Alex Seneschal would be proud of. And a very nice creature holding it as well. I mean, this cannon can't be operated by humans because humans don't have such long arms. I've always liked the idea of certain weapons that can only be operated by a certain, type of person or type of creature. And that way, if you pick it up, if a human picks it up, they can't use it. For example, in Halo, a lot of the Covenant weapons are very large, but the humans can still use them. But I can imagine that a weapon being like so heavy and just so dangerous that only like a human cyborg like Master Chief could pick it up, and not any kind of regular Marine. Next, we got some things done in a VR sketch, Medium by Adobe. I have not had the chance to use VR yet. I've actually, guys, I never put on a VR goggle headset yet. I don't even know what it's like to be in VR yet. But maybe one day, new frontiers. But in terms of which ones of these I like more, I do kind of like this skeletal look, but I don't really like the lack of arms. But I do like these guys. Well, actually, is that the same guy just with arms? Let me see. Oh yeah, I think it's the same guy just with arms. Yeah, so I think I like him with arms. This is a very cool silhouette right here. Very cool design. Next, we got more 3D sketches. I very much like these two on the left here. I always like the very kind of like creative fin design and kind of like the X shape. It kind of reminds you of the X-Wings from Star Wars. Oh, but this design is very nice. It almost reminds me of a moth. I very much like it when sci-fi designs blend more smooth elements with more mechanical elements here. This is also pretty nice. I like this one as well. So once again, if you're short inspiration, guys, something like this could jog you and could give you some good ideas. Next, we have this drop ship. Looks very slim from the front, but then the side looks much more chunky here. So I like designs that kind of fool you in that way. And once again, it's always nice to see artists taking a little time to just make some quick animations as well. Next, we have this mech called the Can Opener. It's a spaceboarding mech concept, specialized unit for hull breaching. So, you don't want this guy clinging onto your spaceship. He's gonna find a way in. He always finds a way in. And this kind of reminds me of the previous mech that we saw. I would like to see that kind of skeletal mech in a 3D version as well. But this guy's got a pretty cool design. He's got like his interior looks more human, like a very, you know, wide, muscular man, and then we got these like mech arms. Just like a very unique kind of musculature kind of build here. Next, we got this nice remote turret. Oh, you guys see that? It's a little Easter egg right there. If you zoom in here, it says Seneschal right here, Alex Seneschal. So that might be a friend, or that might be who he's inspired by. Next, we have this nice little vehicle. Nice little like APC. I very much like the variations here. I like this, I guess, bulldozer or cow catcher, whatever it is, moving debris out of the way. In terms of APC designs, I like ones that kind of slope downwards here. This is a very organic vehicle design in terms of, I very much like the smooth shapes here. It's a lot of APCs that I've seen are very kind of angular here with sharp edges, but I like the smoothness here. I like the different plane changes here. I like this plane and then that plane. So there's a lot of subtle shapes here that really intrigue me. And I like the render, where it looks like it's kind of emerging out of the darkness here. Gives that kind of powerful aesthetic. And I like this little text information as well. Next we have some more assault rifle machine gun sketches. So a lot of times when I look at art, I always like try and choose a favorite. And I would have to say my favorite here. I like this one. I like the way this like I guess power cell is integrated and like the wire. This kind of makes sense to me that, you know, the power would come out of here and then it would go to this unit. This one's kind of unusual, but I don't like it as much as this one. Very much like the shapes happening right here. Alright, so next we're gonna go deviate a little bit from mechs and guns to get this nice retro sci-fi alternate history entertainment machine. A portable Soviet-era 2-in-1 entertainment system consisting of a TV and a built-in cartridge-based gaming console. So it's both a television and a gaming console in one. And so guys, I'm a very simple man. I've kind of trained myself to be very happy with just very little simple things. So for example, just seeing this right here, it just makes me happy. I've always liked design. Just putting different shapes together, just really, you know, it's just very exciting for me, very entertaining. I just like the way that this is like, it's first of all, it's nice blocky shape, but there's some nice kind of variation in it. So it's always nice to see for me blocks with some nice kind of chamfering, with some nice smoothness built in. I like the chunkiness. I like this, you know, nice big chunky kind of front side. I like these like nice little panels. I like how the whole thing is like tilted to the side, because I imagine that when you're sitting on the ground or when this is on a table, you're always above it, so it's almost tilted so that your eyes can match it better. And I very much like this like cylindrical shape integrated into here. I like the controller here, and I just like the idea of retro sci-fi designs. You know, a lot of the things that we focus on are like futuristic things, but the category of retro sci-fi is very exciting to me. I especially like, for example, Alien Isolation. I didn't play that game, but I saw the retro computers that they had in that. So I just like the chunkiness of the designs here. They're not too sharp. There's a nice amount of smoothness here. It allows it to catch highlights very nicely. I always like the color scheme here. It's a very nice color scheme. You can see how it kind of got orange and then red. And this looks like, oh, it's on the side. Oh, I get it. When it's like this, it's like a video game. And what's on the side, it's a television. You guys know who that is? And look at that, guys. I mean, it just gets better. It looks like on the top, there's even a built-in carrying handle. So it's almost like they thought of everything. Once again, sharpness combined with smoothness here. This is just expert knowledge of just combining shapes together. This was done in 3D coat. You know, very nice. Very nice. I could see this being in a movie. You know, the sad thing is that a lot of the artwork that's made by artists just kind of, it's on the internet, kind of sits there. We can appreciate it, but it doesn't actually have further purposes. I could see this being in a film, for example. You know, maybe like in some sort of retro sci-fi movie, alternate reality. This could be like the console that takes over the world instead of Nintendo. Maybe this Soviet system takes over. But like I look at this, and it just looks like something that actually exists. You know, Pavl has done a very good job of creating something which looks very believable. You know, if things turn out a little bit different, you could actually see this device being made in the 80s or whenever it is supposed to be. Like just the controller here just looks very believable. You know, these look like real cartridges. I mean, it's very fun for me to look at like to design alternate technology. Oh, look at that, guys! Every time it turns around, there's a different picture on there. And what's also cool about this is that I look at this and there's almost like hints of things that I know. Like some of this looks like a Game Boy to me. Some of this looks like a Nintendo cartridge, Super Nintendo cartridge, Nintendo 64 cartridge. So it's almost like it kind of plays tricks on your mind. Where you're almost going to see things that remind you of other things. It's almost like the tip of the tongue syndrome. So, you know, this just makes me happy, guys. I very much like the designs here. I like this kind of squirrel logo right here. So I like this like literature in the background, these kind of books. As you can imagine, you know, you're doing your homework and then you kind of get bored, so you start to play the game. So like there's a bit of world building here as well. And of course, you got the space race happening here, so you're thinking about going to the moon. So there's just a lot of good thought and work put into this. We've got another lost Soviet retro handheld cassette-based gaming console / radio. Oh, this time, guys, it's a gaming console and a radio. The games were very simple on this device, guys, but as kids, we didn't really care. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's where the game goes. Yeah, and believe it or not, guys, if you didn't know, on old computer systems, games actually come on cassettes. But I just like the chunkiness, guys. Sometimes I see an artist who kind of has a similar design sense to me where, you know, I like the chunkiness here. I like the big chamfers here. And it looks like we got these nice chunky retro headphones as well. You know, simple shapes here, guys, but simple is good, you know. A lot of artists really go ahead and add like a whole bunch of panel lines here, a whole bunch of details. Of course, I myself am guilty of that. But I think when you really kind of improve as an artist, you realize I can just go simple, have a nice few shapes connecting, and that's a solid design. And it's not good to overwork things. Alright guys, that has been Pavl Postovit. Link is in the description. Check out his work. Thank you for watching and take care.